Hello and welcome. I'm Catherine Osborne, President and CEO of Corporate Harmony, and I'll be your host for today's webinar with the help of your certified subject matter experts. I am the author of the book Corporate Harmony, the performance link for today's modern organization, and of the upcoming book Healthcare Harmony, Thriving in the Line of Fire. I am also a licensed affiliate, certified coach, and the Canadian representative for the Centre for Influential Leadership, where we develop leaders for increased productivity, enhanced teamwork, greater initiative, and more agility with change. The center's founder, Dr. Michael Frisina, spent his career in healthcare administration and is now an internationally recognized leadership expert, speaker, and author, specializing in the creation of tactical capacity in leaders and organizational teams worldwide. Tactical capacity can be thought of as any behavior that is not a technically explicit behavior. In other words, tactical capacity is the behavior that enables you to be a role model for your direct reports. It's the behavior that guides operational improvements. It's the behavior that creates organizational culture. It's the behavior that guides others through change. And it's the behavior that allows you to sustain excellence on the job. But first, some housekeeping. I would ask everyone to pick up your smartphone or electrical device and turn it off. Then place it in the middle of the table, face down. Thank you. The time we spend together here today is your time and no one else's, and it's important that you enjoy this time without the pressures of the outside world. One of the things that we practice throughout these sessions is the art of being present in the moment with me. As a human, you are made up of electromagnetic, neurochemical, emotional energy. And the physical body of who you are is just a wee piece within the energy body of who you really are. In essence, who you are is comprised of your physical body and the entire biofield that exists within you and around you. You are a continuous, unending flow of energy with a body of physical matter from which it flows. Our emotional energy flow is easily disrupted, but it can be reset using a very focused breathing exercise. So please, close your eyes, put both feet flat on the floor, and sit comfortably in your chair. Now, take a deep, deep inhalation. Fill up your lungs until they push your abdomen right out. 2, 3. Now slowly exhale every tiny bit of air and blow away every bit of your work responsibility for right now in this moment. 2, 3. I will count for your breath, but if you can't keep such a slow pace, just breathe as comfortable for you, understanding that the slower, the better, and it will come with practice. Now, take another very slow, deep breath. 1. Relax. Drop your shoulders. 2. Feel the tenseness leave your hands, your arms, your face, your neck. And 3. Now, slowly exhale every tiny bit of air. And 1. Relax your chest, your abdomen, your hips. And 2. Your legs, your feet, your toes. And 3. Now again, take a deep breath. 1. Fill up your lungs. 2. Until they push your abdomen right out. 3. Now slowly exhale every tiny bit of air and blow away every bit of your home life that is heavy on you. And 2. Allow yourself to feel peace right now in this moment. And 3. And now open your eyes. You have just done a natural reboot of your personal energy field, also known as your biofield, that flows beyond your physical body. This natural reboot exercise helps to bring you into coherence. It helps to bring you into the here and now, and it brings you back into the moment. We cannot discuss behavior without an awareness of our personal human energy because your behavior is, for the most part, the physical manifestation of your thoughts and feelings. It is the physical manifestation of your energy. Today, we are beginning the relational domain of the positive presence behavior competencies of influential leadership, collaboration. As the domain name implies, the next three principles are relational in nature, and so you will be learning how to expand your awareness from within your physical self to the area of your 20 square feet, the area that is beyond your physical self and is the area where your social exchanges with others occur. Collaboration is a competency in that you learn the specifics, practice the techniques, and hone your skill of adjusting and flexing your personal style to interact in a positively energized way with other styles in your 20 square feet. You will learn how to use conscious thought and focus to develop your awareness and to realize the optimal outcome in all your relationships. The first principle of collaboration is change your thinking, change your performance. But before we jump into that, let's begin today with a personal check-in. As an influential leader, you will resolve problems, create opportunities, and manage events with a positive response to create the most optimal outcome for all stakeholders. The stress of today's work environment is not going away. In healthcare, particularly, the demands, the chaos, the uncertainty, and lightning-fast changes are likely not going to change either. What we can change, though, is how we respond to it. Remember the mantra, it is what it is. Now what? This mantra is one way of reminding yourself to stop, do your breathing, do your personal check-in, adjust your thoughts, adjust your feelings. To do this, we need to quiet the mind chatter and focus in the moment. We need to be present in the moment and open our mind to a place of peace and clarity. It is only then that we can begin to train our brain for focus. So please, close your eyes and take a deep, deep breath as you just listen. Welcome to the Mini-Med for Thought Cleansing for an Open Mind. For these couple of minutes, I invite you to find a comfortable position for your body and let every muscle relax any tension right now. You may be feeling that there are so many thoughts, it just feels like your brain is so crowded and you would love to be able to just have a thorough cleansing, to have any thoughts that no longer serve you to be easily removed and released, and to have those good flowering thoughts be even more deeply planted in your mind. Imagine that there's a warm ball of light energy that is surrounding your physical being and concentrated right around your head, just bringing a feeling of warm, supportive love around your mind and your brain. This warm light and this ball of energy is easily able to infiltrate right into your brain, right into every aspect of your mind. Let this energy in and invite it to do its work. Let it encompass every brain cell, every dimension of your mind, and weed out, easily releasing any thoughts that no longer serve you, and rewire any thinking that needs to be rewired right now. If there's something specific that's been bothering you, invite the warm, healing light to handle that situation, to come in and sort out the useful thoughts, and easily release any thoughts that are blocking your solution and your movement forward. Just really staying still and letting this light energy do all the work. It's cleaning and purifying your thoughts and rewiring the way that your thoughts are stored in your brain. Let yourself just settle and breathe deeply as this light does its work, maintaining that deep stillness and peaceful trust that this light energy is doing great positive work for you right now. And now, let your body take one last deep breath in, knowing that the thoughts remaining are those that serve you best and are grounded and present in solution and love, moving you forward. Come back to awareness. Notice your surroundings. What do you see? Is there anyone beside you? Across from you? What sounds do you hear? This slide illustrates the energy phenomena of what, as a human, we really are, and how your electromagnetic neurochemical energy expands beyond your physical body. You can see by this that you are really much, much bigger than just your physical body. In actuality, and paraphrasing from Dr. Joe Dispenza in his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One. If an atom is 99.99999% energy and 0.00001% physical substance, and you are nothing more than a big bunch of atoms combining together, then you are actually more nothing than something. This area of human energy is known as the human biofield, or your aura or torus. Having an awareness of it and knowing how to influence it has huge benefits for individuals and organizations alike. As technology advances, so too does the research into the human biofield. But to keep it simple and relevant, we can suffice it to say that human behavior can be thought of as the physical manifestation of human energy. What's more, there is ample evidence suggesting that the thoughts, the feelings, and the behaviors that we associate with the motivation and passion of employee engagement, and with the focus and clarity of performance excellence and the emotional intelligence of influential leaders, those thoughts, feelings, and behaviors only occur in the flow of positive human energy. When your biofield is positive and energized, you are far more likely to experience good health, performance excellence, and cognitive strength. Furthermore, in today's healthcare facilities, not only is your skill of positive presence important for enabling you to rise above or manage the inevitable stress that is innate in the complexity, chaos, and continuous lightning-fast change, your skill of positive presence provides you with a working tool to develop the habits necessary to be able to adapt your personal energy field in such a way as to positively influence all those around you. Influential leadership is not a destination. It is a lifelong journey. All of us are at some unknown point between the beginning and the end of it. In everyone's life, there are battles to be fought, mysteries to be solved, and dragons to be slain. There are no shortcuts. In our age of instant gratification, many people are looking for simple solutions and the quick and easy way to achieve success. But there are no simple solutions. Achieving our best requires hard work, discipline, and time. You are a leader, whether you realize it or not, regardless of an official title at work or in your community. Every time you connect with someone, you have the opportunity to lead through influence. It is vitally important to understand that when it comes to workplace behavior, we are all leaders because it is through our own personal behavior competency that we influence others. And so, we are all influential leaders. Influential leadership is about closing the gap between your life as it is and what it could be. Life is a constant flow of events. Some events we experience are positive, and some are disruptive and negative. How we respond to those events determines the outcomes we get in our life and at work. And today's outcomes often create tomorrow's events. The truth is that we don't always have control over the events we experience, but we always have control over how we respond. How you choose to respond will affect how well you can perform your job and how easily you are able to create and maintain relationships at work. Ultimately, how you choose to respond will affect your overall personal wellness, your physical health, and your mind health. The behavior domains of self-awareness, collaboration, and connection are organizational intangibles that are driven by your personal intangibles. Remember, an organization is only as good as the collective force of its people. Organizations that blossom and flourish are blessed with leaders who have an understanding of the fundamental principles of influential leadership and the discipline to intentionally and purposefully create the mindset and apply the behavior skills associated with these principles on a daily basis and in every human relationship. Every one of these principles is interrelated. Not any single one is standalone or more important than another. On the other hand, the behaviors associated with collaboration are very difficult, if not impossible, without the principles of self-awareness. And the behaviors associated with connection are very difficult, if not impossible, without the principles of self-awareness and collaboration. Influential leaders demonstrate vital strengths that ensure their success. First, they possess the drive to achieve results. Then, they are able to take responsibility for those results. Next, they are willing to take ownership of their thoughts, their beliefs, their emotions, and their actions. And finally, they have the awareness to create and sustain collaboration and connection. Continuously building your skill of positive presence and embracing the behavior skills of influential leadership is where real breakthroughs begin, as we first seek to become the change we desire in the world. Let's take a brief review of the 4 principles of self-awareness. Principle 1. Discover and establish your inner core. We use our values to guide how we respond to life and work. In order to be successful, we must develop the discipline and discernment to see our attitudes and behavior through the filter of our values. We cannot allow circumstances or emotional impulses to direct our behavior. Identifying your values and then living those values to be the best self in everything you do is an essential step towards self-awareness. When you identify your values, they become a source of courage and strength for you. Modern healthcare organizations are some of the most complex organizational systems on the planet, and it is not unusual to find yourself working in chaos, uncertainty, and constant change. Furthermore, it is not unusual to be faced with a change that not only did you not ask for, you do not agree with it, and you have absolutely no control over it. Resistance to change is normal and natural. You see, the minute our brain realizes we are moving out of our norm or comfort zone, it automatically sets off the famous fright, flight, freeze response to some extent, and it creates resistance or what is called emotional dissonance. This is not a good state to be in, so becoming aware of it and applying the necessary tactics to diminish the dissonance is important. One such tactic is using the mantra, "It is what it is, now what?" It is at this point, at this moment, that the only choice you do have is how you are going to respond to the circumstances of the change event. Knowing your values, identifying them and strengthening them, understanding the core of who you are and what you want to be, being aware of what's important on the inside, in your heart, gives you meaning and identity beyond the event. Only then will your resistance decrease enough to allow you to move forward in a healthy manner. And it is then that your inner strength will move you through the process with a positive and energized mindset, rather than a mindset of frustration and resentment. Real awareness begins with asking yourself daily, moment by moment, am I thinking true to my core values? Am I feeling true to my core values? Am I acting true to my core values? Real awareness truly begins when those questions are asked often enough to become an unconscious habit and ultimately become who you are, regardless of the circumstance and the environment within which you work. Principle 2. Create your personal mission statement. Successful people do the things that average people are unwilling to do. They are ordinary people with extraordinary levels of focus, discipline, passion, and confidence. The difference maker for peak performing organizations is that successful people do the things that average people are unwilling to do. Everyone wants to succeed, but those who consistently do succeed are ordinary people who are on a mission. As a result, they have extraordinary levels of focus, discipline, passion, and confidence affixed to their purpose and vision. As a leader in healthcare, you are leading a workforce that is made up of what we call knowledge workers, people whose jobs require formal and/or advanced education and are typically professionals in their own right, and who must bring their specialisms and expertise together for a common purpose. In healthcare organizations, productivity, process efficiency, and quality service lies for the most part within the working brains of your people, right down to the front lines. A working brain uses higher level thinking that requires a positive and energized environment. A working brain requires a clear and focused purpose that is aligned within oneself and with the organization. To have purpose means to have focus. To achieve success, you cannot have one without the other. Principle 3. Accept responsibility and ownership of self. Remember, exercising the behavior principles is most important when it is most difficult. You cannot quickly develop strong behavior skills at a moment of crisis or opportunity. They must be developed long before the moment of need arrives. Taking responsibility and ownership of self means that you are consciously and consistently striving with purpose and focus to develop a stronger, more agile, and resilient you, both mentally and behaviorally. Taking responsibility means being accountable for your choices and recognizing that your attitude and actions have an impact on you and the people around you. As a human being, you have the capacity to be proactive. You can choose either to focus on the things that you can actually do something about, or you can focus on the things over which you have no control. When you waste time and energy worrying about things beyond your control, your power of influence shrinks. When you invest time and energy on things you can control, your power of influence expands. And what do you have the greatest amount of control over? Yourself. It is important to note that many of us have a strong natural tendency to look toward that over which we have no control. It is innate, actually, within us, because in the early days of human evolution, it was important to scan the area beyond self for danger and threats. Or perhaps your life experiences to date have been threatening. So deliberately developing the habit of looking within, developing the awareness for higher level thinking, is what this journey is all about. A keen awareness of how you view adversity and stress is critical to your success, and this is one of the most important reasons that having a positive, energized, resilient, and solutions-focused mental model is so important. Adversity, stress, and change, these are inevitable circumstances of life, both professional and personal. Developing the awareness and creating the necessary thought and behavior habits that can rise above the chaos is a must in order for you and your organization to thrive, to grow, and to sustain a high level of performance excellence. An understanding and awareness of your 20 square feet, that part of you that is energy rather than physical matter, is a critical piece. You can assess your personal energy flow through your feelings. Feelings such as happiness and optimism can be linked to a positive energy flow or coherence, and feelings such as anger and frustration can be linked to a negative energy flow. Your brain tends to match feelings to your pre-existing thought patterns, so realistically, you can create new thought patterns to match your feelings to, and in essence, control your feelings with these new thought patterns. You are developing habits that are necessary for recognizing your energy flow and then adjusting your thoughts for a positive and healthy mind. It's the neuroplasticity of your brain that allows it to create and implant new thought processes that are healthy and productive for you. The healthy and productive thoughts are the positive and energizing ones, and this ability lies within each and every one of you, regardless of age, race, or gender. Principle 4. Discover your primary behavior domain. Your individual behavior preferences, although unique to you, will generally fall within one of the 4 distinct behavior dimensions or scales. Like personality profiling, behavior profiling has been around for tens of decades. As an influential leader, it is crucial for you to know the 4 distinct behavior dimensions. Know your primary behavior dimension, understand how your behavior impacts others, and understand how you must change your behavior in order to lead, inspire, and motivate others to be the best they can be. What matters most is not so much about how you see yourself, but how other people experience you in your behavior. As an influential leader, others' experience of you in your behavior must be strength-based, positive, and energized in order to create such an intangible environment. Awareness of your primary behavior domain is essential in recognizing when you will need to flex and adapt, and with whom you will need to adapt your style. That being said, it is imperative that you learn to be flexible to maintain the most effective level of communication, cooperation, and teamwork with all those around you. One style, your style, is not effective to every situation. In fact, you can be sure that your style will be ineffective with 75% of the people around you and in 75% of the situations that require a combination of behavior styles to optimize positive outcomes. This means that it is very important to apply self-awareness to every human relationship. Because of human differences, some of your strongest and key behaviors might just drive another member of your team crazy. Take note. This doesn't mean you're bad or wrong. What it does mean is that you and your teammate are likely at opposite points on the behavior dimension quadrant. And that's okay. Diversity of team members is a necessary component of a high-functioning team. Behavior in the workplace, then, positive, productive, strength-based behavior, is a key indicator for success. And teaching people the necessary thinking skills to produce positive, productive, strength-based behavior is imperative. You will find the behavior dimension quadrant duplicated for you on page 15 of Chapter 5 of your manual. The profile behavior expectation chart and the behavior characteristics by style are at the back of Chapter 4 of your manual. Just as there are different people personality types that we must acknowledge and adapt to, there are also differing dimensions of emotional behavior that every leader must be aware of. A leader's emotional behavior style can compel followers to either connect and engage or to turn away. My good friend and mentor, Dr. Michael Fresina, in his book, Influential Leadership, Change Your Behavior, Change Your Organization, Change Healthcare, talks about emotional awareness and recognizes that emotionally aware leaders can acknowledge their gut reactions and prevent possible emotional meltdowns. Emotionally aware leaders also are aware that negative responses are counterproductive to peak performance. He goes on to say, and I quote, "Our behavior style can stir up emotions in others. Behavior style, or social communication style, is the way we conduct ourselves in front of other people, particularly in the workplace. Your behavioral style, which is different from personality, either attracts or repels other people, and vice versa. Sometimes we cannot articulate why we like or dislike someone's behavior because these types of preferences are most often unconscious. 4 categories of behavioral styles are generally recognized. Note that each researcher assigns different names to the attributes. All of us have a dominant style, but we also have habits that fall into the other 3 categories. Each style has its strengths and weaknesses, and important consideration in team formation. Dr. Fresina stresses the need for leaders to be flexible. Awareness of the 4 categories of behavior style tells us when to flex and adapt our style to be more effective in response to different people and different situations. One style is not effective for all situations. A rigid style will often get us into trouble. The style of flexibility will help us be more effective. 25% of all situations are perfect for your own personal style. It is the other 75% of the time that we really need an awareness of emotional behavior in order to adjust our personal behavior style to move toward others and build trust. Performance excellence is possible only when we are keenly aware of our own behavior tendencies and habits, many of which exist at an unconscious level. There are three primary domains of workplace behavior: self-awareness, collaboration, and connection. These three domains comprise 10 interdependent behavior principles common to each and every one of us. Behavior training in the three domains of self-awareness, which is a fundamental behavior competency, collaboration, which is a relational behavior competency, and connection, which is an operational behavior competency, is a systematic, programmatic methodology in real time on the job. Today, we begin looking at the behavior domain of collaboration, and we begin with the first principle of collaboration: change your thinking, change your performance. Influential leaders recognize how their habits and patterns affect their performance and the performance of people around them. To be an influential leader, you need to slow down, gain awareness, and see the effects of your words and actions. How are your thought habits and your behavior habits helping you live your values and achieve your goals? Is it possible that you have some habits that are hindering you from living your values and achieving your goals? You've heard it said many times, you can't be a leader without followers. Leadership, then, is about relationships with people. Collaboration is the coming together of two or more parties to realize a common goal. Leadership, then, is about creating a culture of collaboration. An organization cannot become what its people are not, nor can organizational performance rise any higher than the combined individual performance of its people. Organizational excellence and success has a direct relationship to individual excellence and success, and individual excellence and success is best supported by a collaborative culture. Creating and sustaining a culture of collaboration, whether at the team level, the department level, or the organizational level, is the duty of an influential leader. The second domain of the positive presence behavior competencies of influential leadership is collaboration. While self-awareness, the foundational domain, drives individual performance, collaboration drives organizational performance. In healthcare, the goal is very diverse and varied, from improving clinical outcomes to developing an innovative service or program, to meeting and exceeding patient expectations, to meeting and exceeding provincial targets, to creating and sustaining performance and service excellence. Collaboration enables the accomplishment of more and greater results. Competition has always been a component of achieving a goal, to win. In organizational behavior, however, competitive cultures lack the essential elements for creating effective collaboration. Consequently, they discourage open communication, slow down the sharing of information and resources, and worse, promote a me-first mentality where the focus tends to shift away from the strategic objectives of the organization. In any organization, failure to effectively collaborate begins with bad thinking that leads to bad behavior. In healthcare particularly, this mindset is damaging to professional relationships, damaging to patient care, and damaging to the bottom line. The challenge then for collaborative-minded leaders is to transform a competitive environment into a collaborative culture. This undertaking requires the leader to be self-aware and to harness the positive presence behavior competencies of influential leadership at all levels and across all boundaries. It requires developing the behavior skill of an effective thinker, and it requires developing the necessary thinking skill that drives effective, collaborative behaviors. So, change your thinking, and you will Change your performance and the performance of all those around you. Remember, every company would like increased productivity, higher quality work, more initiative taken, and improved teamwork. The historical operating model in healthcare encourages independent achievement, especially in medicine, where an excellent physician is labeled as a rock star, while the valuable contributions of competent nurses, technicians, and other supporting caregivers are minimized. This mindset drives a culture of competition, whether recognized or not, and competition is the antithesis of collaboration. Collaboration actually is a type of culture. It is a culture first and foremost of mutual respect, and it is a culture filled with energy, passion, excitement, and enthusiasm that begins in the heart of every person involved. This doesn't mean that it's any less complex and any less ambiguous or any less stressful. What it does mean, though, is that the complexity, the uncertainty, and the stress is shared. It is give and take at all levels and across all boundaries, because at the end of the day, the ultimate goal remains the same: exemplary patient care. In the complexity of healthcare today, the attributes of any one individual are no longer sufficient to drive high levels of performance. The technical burden and knowledge requirements exceed the capacity of any individual to overcome alone. Ironically, advances in technology that are often touted as the panacea for improving healthcare safety and quality have only provided opportunity for more human error to occur with greater consequences. Collaboration is a partnership between people and/or groups intended to generate a product or achieve a singular objective that is mutually beneficial to all parties involved. Collaboration tends to move forward any kind of work or goal faster than any other approach because it is powered by the skills, knowledge, expertise, experience, and insight of many people, not just one. In healthcare particularly, collaboration is critical because the needs and demands are complex and filled with dire consequences. In the work environment, there are specific characteristics of low or no collaboration. More often than not, lack of collaboration stems from behavioral weaknesses, not deficiencies in technical knowledge and expertise. Behavior weaknesses that are evident in an environment of low or no collaboration include poor communication, sabotage, conscious or unconscious, of existing processes, refusal to work with or participate in teams, gossip mongering, apathy, procrastination, and disregard for timeframes, constant complaining, argumentativeness, rudeness, resistance to constructive feedback. In a culture of collaboration, employees are engaged and energized. The work and goals are interdependent, and the leaders are self-aware, other-centered, and connected. Modern healthcare has evolved to become consumer-oriented, global, and information-driven. It is only with a collaborative culture that we will be able to deliver performance excellence within the highly complex systems of today's healthcare. Organizations as a system are innately social insofar as human interaction is concerned. In fact, neither human brains nor human minds can exist without social relationships. Developing the positive presence behavior competencies of influential leadership and your skill of positive presence for a positive and energized mindset will equip you with the competency, knowledge, and power to strengthen your organization's social culture by creating a system-wide perspective of agility and flexibility needed for strong and positive social relationships. The life you have created is a product of your thinking. It cannot be changed without changing your thinking. Thinking is how you see the world around you, gather and process information, evaluate the information, and, based on your assessment, make decisions and take action. Thinking affects everything you do. The success of any knowledge organization depends on the ability of its people at all levels to think, make decisions, and solve problems. The quality of life in a community is determined by the effectiveness of decisions made by community leaders and citizens. The health and happiness of a family is shaped by the decisions that parents and children make. Neuroscience and quantum physics have proven that we can train our minds to change our brains. In an abstract sense, our life is a flow of energy and information. We can think of our mind as our brain in action and must remember that it is a continuous, ongoing process. These processes involve a flow of information and energy, and how we use and process this information, and more particularly this energy, is a learnable skill. Thinking is a skill. It is a discipline that is learned and continuously improved over the length of our lifetime. There are three internal factors that you can control and that directly affect your ability to think, make decisions, and solve problems. In order to maximize the effectiveness of your thinking, it is important to be aware of and to control these three factors. First, core values. Before you make a decision or take action, ask, what do my core values guide me to do in this situation? Next, mental model. Beware of perceptual blindness. Do not react without thinking. Remember, we tend to see the world that makes us most secure in our behavior style. And third, behavior style. Your primary dimension will flavor how you interpret, evaluate, and assess life and work events. Take time to pause and open your mind to all possibilities. Your aptitude for critical thinking is a crucial piece of organizational, professional, and personal success. As many behavior experts have noted, success in life and at work is directly shaped by our ability to think. As simple as it sounds, before you make a decision or take action, stop and think. Sometimes 10 minutes of effective thinking can save an hour of ineffective action. In today's current business environment, leaders are expected to operate at such a rapid pace and at such a high level that critical thinking skills are paramount for success. Even though critical thinking may seem like a soft or unquantifiable skill, it's actually a key competency for leaders who operate in today's business climate. In fact, a lack of critical thinking can lead to questionable decisions, which in turn could potentially tarnish a business's reputation. The popular and often quoted essay by Dr. Peter A. Facione explains the meaning and human significance of critical thinking. It invites readers to think about critical thinking, and in doing so, it provides a sound and research-based conceptual synthesis describing critical thinking skills and habits of the mind. Building on the expert consensus definition, Dr. Facione emphasizes the personal and social value of critical thinking. Dr. Facione shows how critical thinking connects to thoughtful and reflective human decision-making, as contrasted with reactive decision-making. He says, critical thinking is skeptical without being cynical. It is open-minded without being wishy-washy. It is analytical without being nitpicky. Critical thinking can be decisive without being stubborn, evaluative without being judgmental, and forceful without being opinionated. It is a common experience to encounter people with skills they are not motivated to use, and perhaps equally common to know people who are motivated to do things for which, unfortunately, they lack the skills. Reasoning and critical thinking follow this pattern. Some people are more positively disposed to apply their critical thinking skills whenever they have decisions to make or problems to solve. Others are ambivalent and at times seem willing to apply their reasoning skills, while at other times seem unwilling to do so. And still others are more strongly disposed not to approach the difficulties they encounter using that set of skills. Often, we have developed self-limiting patterns of thinking, thereby restricting our capacity to make wise, positive decisions and solve problems. In the words of Dr. Albert Einstein, problems cannot be solved with the same level of thinking that created them. He also said, imagination is more important than knowledge. What you see here is an age-old thinking puzzle. Take a piece of paper and duplicate this 9-dot box. Now, your first challenge is to draw 4 straight lines which go through the middle of all the dots without taking the pencil off the paper. You can start anywhere. You have to be quick. You only have 45 seconds. How did you do? If you finish that, next challenge is to draw 3 straight lines through all the dots. Each line starts where the last line finishes. So give it a try using only 3 lines. You have 45 seconds. So, how did you do? Here is the solution. So how did you do? Would you be able to do it with only 2 lines? What about just 1 line? Think back to how you were solving the puzzle. Did you solve it by trial and error, or did you think through a strategy? As you think about how you went about solving the problem, slow right down. Slow your thinking right down. What changes in your thoughts could you have made to solve the problem, or to solve the problem faster? The beauty of this 9-dot puzzle is that you literally have to think out of the box to solve the puzzle. For the 3-line solution, challenge 2, did you think about going outside of the box? Your pencil or mouse must go outside of the box of the dots to be able to solve it. Interestingly, the most frequent difficulty people have with this puzzle is that they try to draw all the lines within the dots, and they do not initially want to draw lines outside of the dot box because, first, there's nothing outside the set of dots to associate to. And second, there are no dots to join a line to outside the dot box. They assume that a boundary exists, even though the problem definition does not say you are not allowed to go outside the dot box. Finally, who found that they were so close to doing it that you just kept trying the same way but harder? Perception and mental models do the same sort of thing to us. So the lessons to be learned from this puzzle are threefold. First, analyze the definition to find out what is allowed and what is not. Are there any real rules to the problem anyway? Especially valid in human-related problems, there are only perceptions, not physical rules. Number 2, investigate the boundaries. What are the boundaries which the solution must fit into? Are the boundaries your own perceptions, or are they reality? What are the possibilities if you push the boundaries? And finally, 3, hard work is not the solution. Repeating the same wrong process again and again with more vigor does not work. You can be very close to a solution while not getting any closer to it. Creating effective thought habits can be a slow process at first, but as you consciously start to ask the questions, your brain soon makes the necessary connections, and you'll wonder how you ever managed without the power of critical thinking. Training your brain to think better is an ongoing, continuous process. Your skill of positive presence, your ability to adjust for and create a positive and energized mindset through conscious thought processes, provides a focused self-awareness for this new way of thinking and being. It is a way of thinking that focuses on improving the emotional energy flow within us and around us, at home, at work, and in our community. It is a purposeful way of thinking and behaving that brings us life and strengthens every human relationship that we have. And in the same way we exercise for physical strength and wellness, we are now going to take a few moments to listen to a mini-med adapted from my friend Dina Proctor at www.dinaproctor.com to exercise for cognitive strength and train our brain. So please, close your eyes and take a deep, deep breath. Welcome to the mini-med for training your brain. For the next few minutes, I invite you to sit comfortably and find a place of calm, peaceful stillness within you, letting any thoughts and any tension melt completely out of your body. As you let your body settle in, and as you feel your shoulders relaxing and your thoughts releasing, I invite you to consider a visual representation of the neural pathways of your brain, the thought patterns of your brain. You might imagine them to be like roadways, or railroad tracks, or canyons where energy or water would flow through them. And identify in your brain which are the old thought patterns, the old pathways that you wish to withdraw attention and energy from, and then identify where the newly formed pathways are being laid. Two separate areas of your brain, like roadways or paths, one well-worn and one newly formed. Now imagine that the energy source that has been wearing down those old brain patterns, those old neural pathways, that energy source is withdrawing, like a riverbed drying up from lack of water. Those old worn pathways are drying up and no longer being used regularly. The energy source is shifting. You can feel it shift. You know that it's shifting and leaving behind the old pathways. The energy is flowing toward the newly formed pathways. It's physically altering the way that you think and the way that your mind works. This energy source gently flows, softly shaping new thought patterns, new ways of thinking, new pathways in your brain and in your mind. This energy source is deepening the new pathways so that they will become your most well-worn ways of thinking. So now, take one more moment and imagine this energy source deepening and solidifying new neural pathways in your brain, gently withdrawing attention where you no longer like it to flow, and easily and effortlessly maintaining and shaping your new thought patterns from here going forward. Come back to awareness. Notice your surroundings. What do you see? Is there anyone beside you? What sounds do you hear? We are now going to take time for reflection. This reflection time is referred to as table time because this exercise is created to be shared with a discussion group of your peers. Feel free to gather around a table with your colleagues or head over to Corporate Harmony's virtual discussion group. This is also a time to stay focused on task. Be present in the moment, right here. You will see notes pages at the end of the manual section for personal use in gathering insights and questions as you move through the material. So take time to put pen to paper. There are never any wrong or bad answers. Seeing your words on paper allows your brain to open up to even greater possibilities. Putting your thoughts and feelings to words on paper opens your mind to your inner wisdom and greatness. Enjoy this time and share your insights with the discussion group. You will find this slide at the top of page 19 of Chapter 5 of your manual. Next session, We will continue looking at the relational domain of the positive presence behavior competencies, collaboration. Change your thinking, change your performance. And more particularly, the value of critical thinking. So, until then, live each moment of each day with harmony and purpose, and allow your grandest dreams to come true.